Finally, I have my hands on the Oukitel WP8 Pro. This is a budget rugged phone from Oukitel, or maybe like a semi-budget. It is $130, so it's not completely budget oriented, but our specs are 6.5-inch display, Android 10, 4G, the 6762D processor, which is the Helio A25, 4 gigs of RAM, 64 gigs of storage, 5000 mAh battery, 8 megapixel front camera, 16 megapixel rear camera. So yeah, our specs are decent for the price. Not gonna lie, at first I thought it was the Helio P60 this phone had, but apparently not, so maybe it does. We're gonna check that later. So here is our smartphone, and wow, this feels huge in the hand. Very heavy. I mean, it's like top heavy for some reason, but wow, this phone is huge. We have a nice durable rubber material. So yeah, this is a rugged phone. Peel this off. Okay, this is not a punch hole. This is a teardrop design, which I mean, no problem. But for some people, it might be too big, but for me, it's just fine. In the box, we have our SIM injector tool. This is a long one. Manuals, and okay, an OTG connector, and our charging cable, and our charging brick. Let's take a look at our charging brick. That's pretty cheap feeling. This phone charges via micro USB, not USB-C, which is, it's a shame to see, but this is a budget phone after all. So you just peel this tab off, and that reveals the charging port. And as you can see, it is micro USB. There it is, micro USB. So you peel this tab off, and you put the hole over here. That releases the SIM slot. Very similar to the Ulefone Armor 8. So yeah, let's power this on. Okay, this is our setup screen. First impressions, the display looks quite nice. It actually looks more than 6.49 inches. Yeah, I'm really liking this design. Viewing angles are quite nice. Quality is there. So I'm going to set this up and get back to you. Alright, so our fingerprint sensor is over here. You just tap that. And basically like setting any other fingerprint sensor. Okay, so the phone is all set up. Looks decent. Performance is decent. So let's see, go to settings. So it's pretty quick for the price. But first up, we're going to test the fingerprint sensor. Alright, 3, 2, 1. That wasn't bad. 3, 2, 1. Not bad. 3, 2, 1. Alright, so it is pretty fast, pretty reliable, not 100% reliable, because when you put it in your pocket, the fingerprint sensor always activates. So by the time you pull it out of your pocket, it's going to say, oh, too many attempts, and you're not going to be able to use a fingerprint. That's the problem I have with these side-mounted fingerprint sensors. But let's see if we have face unlock. Alright, we do have face unlock. They call it here face lock. So I guess you use your face to lock the phone. Nah, just kidding. Bring it up to my face for a second. Face in real. Let's see if this is any better. Not that fast. Okay, now let's try and doing it close up, see how it is. Nope. I've seen faster, but as long as it stays reliable, then I have no problem with the face unlock. It's perfectly fine. Alright, now let's move on to our light games. What the hell was that? Did you see? I've never seen that happen before. Alright, so my knives just collapsed or something. The game completely broke. Let's try relaunching it. Oh my god. I closed it and let's try that again, because that was pretty weird. Yeah, perfect time for an ad. Perfect time for an ad. Alright, let's do this. Okay, not bad. Alright, so it kind of stutters, so let's start restoring our purchases, which means no ads. What's with these glitches that are happening with this game, with these cheap phones lately? Damn. Alright, it won't let me disable ads, so I just put it in airplane mode. That also disables ads, and it's still kind of stuttering, but it's not that bad. The stutter isn't as bad as phones I've seen in the past, to be honest. But yeah, that is knife it. Okay. Okay. It was a bit unresponsive at first, but now it's a bit better. Okay, now it's better. Alright, so the frame rate isn't the highest. I'd say it's like, it fluctuates between 20 or 35 frames per second, something like that. Highest it can be like 40. You're not gonna get 60 FPS on this phone, which is understandable. So yeah, the game is overall enjoyable. It does have some major stutters from time to time, but for the most part, it's perfectly fine. I'm just playing here. It's not bad at all. So light games, most games will run fine. Just expect some stutter here and there. Alright, so walking around, okay, it's stuttering, but it's just the very beginning. Let's check our graphics settings real quick. Alright, frame rate medium, graphics smooth, perfect. Okay, now we have a good frame rate. Alright, this frame rate is steady now, no stuttering. Yeah. Okay, so I can run around, no problem. Yeah. Alright, so there we have it. On the lowest settings, it runs just fine. It might stutter a bit here and there, but it won't. But it's gonna stutter for sure if you make the graphics higher. I mean, personally, this looks fine for me. I don't think there's a need to make the graphics any higher than this. But yeah, PUBG definitely playable on this phone. Alright, so there we have it. Our CPU is the MediaTek 6762V, which is the Helio P22. Now we know for sure. The speaker's over here on the back, I think. It's over... Oh, never mind, this is the speaker over here. Anyway, let's play. Alright, so the speaker is pretty decent. It gets pretty loud. No distortion. Overall quality is lacking, but hey, for $130, it's perfectly acceptable. But you can watch videos on this, no problem. We even have a headphone jack if you pull this flap over here. Yeah, it's pretty deep in there, so not every pair is gonna fit. And let's see, no. You're gonna have to get those headphones with no intrusions if you want to use this port. We also have a key over here that's called Smart, and when you push that, it's gonna open this screen so you can choose the functions that it will do. So one click, we can choose open app. Let's say YouTube, for example. So one tap opens up YouTube. And I've noticed a lot of these rugged phones having this feature. And you can do like 2-click function and a 3-click function. Very useful feature. Won't get more into it, you get the point. Alright, next up the camera. As you can see, I was already outside. And alright, it's first selfie. Not really the first selfie, but you get the point. Let's go outside. We're facing video on the Oukitel WP8 Pro Full HD. The viewfinder is stuttering. It was also stuttering when I was taking pictures. I don't know if it has to do with the fact that I'm downloading apps. But either way, it's stuttering. Hopefully the video itself is not stuttering. That you can tell right now if it is or not. But right now for the viewfinder, it is. Alright, let's try going close up on this flower. So after tapping on the screen, it does focus on the flowers. So decent video overall. Front-facing video on the Oukitel WP8 Pro, also Full HD. Same story more or less, also kind of stuttering a bit less I think. And no matter which angle I record from, my face is dark. Let's see if I tap on the screen. Okay, that's a bit better actually. But yeah, I mean, if it's not stuttering like it is right now, like for the viewfinder, then I'd say it is pretty decent video. What do you guys think? Alright, so that is pretty much it. I've tested all the major functions of this phone, more or less. So should you get it, I mean, if you can find it for $120, $130, then I'd say that is a great price for this phone because we get decent performance, great display, good, so you're paying for the specs and the fact that this is a durable phone, IP68, water resistant. So I think $130 is a very fair price for this phone. Any more expensive, I'd say, yeah, it's not worth it. But if you can find it for around $120, $130, I think that's a great price. Also, the cameras we get are pretty decent. I mean, they're not the best, but they are perfectly acceptable for the price. And yeah, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments. I'll try to answer them if I know the answer. Hope you enjoyed the review. I will see you in the next video. Peace.